Alright, so, in, back in, was it 2011, when we were on board ship, I got sent over to, Sicily, Italy, and, one of my buddies, that's a different story for a different day, but anyway, we were coming off of, a mission, and he was running on the back of the helicopter, and he slipped on the back, and he broke his leg. Anyway, I had to go from the USS Kearsarge to Italy. We had to go through like several different countries, and we got to Sicily, Italy. Sicily's below the boot. It's on its own little island. It's where Mount Etna's erupting at. Anyway, so we get there, and what I learned from my time when we were in Panama is to be friends with taxi drivers. Plus, I also befriended taxi drivers in North Carolina at Camp Lejeune, who became one of my best friends in the family. Anyway, how's that have to do with anything? I'll tell you in a second. Sorry, making some food real quick. Alright. Anyway. So, here I am in Italy, and I don't know anybody, but we learned a long time ago that if you can make friends with taxi cab drivers, they'll be your best friends forever, especially if you pay them good, and you just treat them like normal human beings. They're human like everybody else. They're just trying to look out for their families, make a living for themselves, but they know more about everything going on than anybody else. So it's very, very smart to always befriend taxi cab drivers and make them part of your family, and treat them like that, even when you're never around them anymore. So, I got there and I was by myself. Well, Osama bin Laden, at the time, this is 2011, this is before 9/11, so this was, let's see here, June, July maybe? July? I want to say July. July, and I was sitting on the beaches of Italy, and nobody knew I was there, because everything we do is, you know, you have to have a liaison. Well, you get into Italy, you don't have a liaison. So there's this taxi cab driver, and he's sitting off base, and the entire base is shut down because there's bombings going around. Anyway, they weren't really cluing me into anything. I was there as my buddy's escort, and we got put in officer quarters and stuff because there was no room in the regular quarters. So I was talking to this taxi cab driver. He was driving me around all day, and I was like, look, I'm looking to get something to eat. I was like, can you take me somewhere? And he didn't speak much English at all, so it's kind of more hand gestures and just two people being nice, trying to communicate. And plus, money is the universal language, I think, for any country. But anyway, he's like, oh yes. So he took me to his brother's restaurant. His brother had a restaurant in Italy. So, I don't know, over in Europe, I don't know how it is anywhere else, but in Europe, they have a different kind of eating pattern. At the evening meals, those are more of, they don't have TVs, that's your entertainment. Food is your entertainment in Sicily, Italy. And you don't just, you order these things on the menu. They hand me this menu, and I couldn't read Italian. So I ordered whatever it was. Well, the thing about it over in Europe is you're not just ordering one thing. You're ordering the evening meal, meaning the entire evening. It's a whole entertainment experience, and I didn't know this. And I didn't want to be rude, so they brought me out the first thing. It was like some kind of a salad or something, and I was like, okay. And I was thinking, okay, that's what I ordered. That's what I thought I ordered. That's the only thing I ordered. That's how much it cost. I thought, you know, in the United States, but the problem is over in Italy, things are a lot cheaper. And so you can get an entire meal for what it would take for like one of our side dishes here in the United States in some of these places. Plus, because I was with this guy, and it was his brother, it's just like, they wanted to treat me good. Just because I was nice to him. So he was being nice back. And, well, the second course came. I was there like, oh man, I didn't know how to get out of this. I was there by myself, and they expected me to stay there the entire evening. So I was like, I don't have nothing going on back at base, and I didn't have to report in to anybody. I could have been dead for all anybody knew, and nobody would have known. Sorry, I'm getting spaghetti on my computer. I didn't mean to do. So, anyway. So, we were in there, and his brother even comes in. I was sitting at like a family table. It was really funny. So, another thing is I couldn't be rude because now I got people around watching me. So, they brought me my first course. You'll never believe what the first course was. They brought noodles, and in the noodles, it was black. It was squid ink noodles. Basically, it was noodles with squid ink. I'm not a big seafood person per se, as when it comes to octopus, snails, shellfish, stuff like that. I mean, I can eat it. I'm not allergic or anything. I can eat it. But I'm looking at this like, and usually I'm the kind of person, I'm from the Midwest, I can eat anything. You put anything in front of me, I'll eat it. You put a hot sauce, you put anything in front of me, I'll eat it. I don't mind trying anything once. You put black squid ink in front of me, and my stomach was turning. Because that was the one thing that but I ate it. It's like calamari and stuff like that. I'm not big on calamari and stuff, and like octopus tentacles and stuff like that, which a lot of people are. They're delicacies in some parts of the world. So anyway, I get this down. I'm doing my best looking for any... oh, the taste. Oh, the taste. I can't tell you about the taste. I was like, oh my God, because I'm not big on seafood. And Long John Silver's is not considered seafood. I'm sorry. It's a bunch of grease with fat and nasty. I can't even... Long John Silver's hurts my stomach. I can't even eat that. That's not... This is good seafood. This is the real stuff. This has your omegas and stuff in it. Anyway. Then, Lee brought me the third course. It looked like a giant tenderloin. I was like, okay, the tenderloin. I like tenderloins, right? It was horse. So I go for... Yep. So I ended up eating horse. Now, up until this year, and a couple months ago, for years, the practice of eating horse in the United States has been illegal. However, just this year, it's now legal again to eat horse, because there's a lot of horses in the United States. Believe it, there's, you know, we've got them everywhere. And people eat horse, and they used to be used for making glue and stuff like that. But we got out of the you know, it's one thing that Americans don't eat. You know, we eat a lot of cattle, but we don't eat much horse. But in Italy, they eat horse. So, I ate horse. After that, I don't even know what I ate after that. I just kind of looked at the meals like, okay, put it on my plate. I'll try it. I could eat anything after that. After eating octopus and horse, two things that I don't eat in the same restaurant at the same time, I decided, okay, just put anything you want on my plate because I guess I'm going to have to eat it. Anyway, we had a good time and went out for, is it gelato? It's their version of ice cream, whatever. We went out there and then I went and got some ice cream and stuff, and there was a group of us. The guy picked up his whole family. I went with the person's family and everything else. They just basically took me in. They didn't know who I was, but they knew I was being nice to them. I paid the tax. You know, this is my taxi cab driver, and we had a good time. So, as you could see, it was an experience, and it was really, really funny. I went out a couple more times. I went to a couple clubs too over in Italy that were really nice. I like the clubs over in Italy. I also like the clubs that had pools and stuff. Those were awesome. But that's one of the things I did in Italy, and that's very memorable. But remember, I've been to, 60-some different countries? So each one's got a different story. But I had fun when I was there. Some countries only there for a day. Some was a couple hours. Some was a couple weeks. But in my course, I've been to a lot of different countries. We had a good time. So, that's my story about the black ink noodles and eating horse. Funny stuff.